And we're back with another episode of the Lakers Fast Break podcast. It's Gerald Glassford coming right back at you here for Lakers Fast Break. Pop Culture Cosmos, Inside Sports Fantasy Football, and Game Source. I told you I needed some water just to get my Pop Culture Cosmos voice ready. So please, Pop Culture Cosmos, Inside Sports Fantasy Football, Game Source, and of course the great folks out there. If you can, please like, share, subscribe, follow, or do whatever it is that you can to support us right here at the Lakers Fast Break. If you can, please give us that 5-star review wherever you get your podcasts. Plus, again, subscribe to us today on YouTube so you can get the latest notifications when we go live on the air. And I'm hoping, very much hoping, as Joe puts out his 1 then 5 fingers, that we can actually be live. I think we're live on @Courtside Lakers on Instagram. So I want to go ahead and say hello to all the thousands and thousands of subscribers right there for us out there on @Courtside Lakers. And a big shout out to Henry, who was part of our awesome playback.tv/Lakers Fast Break coverage for tonight's game. It was truly a pleasure meeting you and also talking to you. And hopefully you will be a part of what we're doing going forward. But we are now live on not only Trovo, Twitch, Twitter, Facebook, but also hopefully Instagram as well. So if you get a chance, please like, follow, share, subscribe, and do whatever you can to support us right here at the Lakers Fast Break. Lakerholics.com. Be part of the great conversations today that they're having at Lakerholics.com with Jamie's tweets, 5 things, and Laker Tom's great articles and trade proposals right there for you at Lakerholics.com. Our good friends at LakersBall.com. Go ahead and join Joe Soro today as he is all over LakersBall.com. Plus, if you want your lawn transformed into something much more special than it is today, and probably after all the rain in California, you need it, and you live in the Southern California area, please go ahead and check out Simblades, Simblades with a Y.com. Plus, our good friends of the Hoop Heads Podcast Network. And if you can, please support all that. It is sincerely appreciated. It is sincerely appreciated. Oh, that's great. That's somebody's playing me on playback. Yes, that is Jamie. Was that me on Instagram? I'm hoping it is.
No, I don't know. YouTube.
Okay, I'm on somewhere. That's good to know. All right, so at least we're not dead yet. But Zangerstein says all-time poor defensive performance. You think with Şengün running wild all over the Lakers, looking like a Hall of Famer, looking better than Jokic?
Sugar Şengün tonight.
Yes, and kidding aside, Zangerside said they do need a win. They did need a win tonight because coming in after 2 incredibly poor losses that were calls against us that they should have won, should have been turned around in our favor. I actually got Jamie, last night, I got Joel Embiid grabbing. Grabbing Russell.
Yeah, but
Westbrook,
the last 2-minute report said there wasn't a foul, and
there's a thumbnail on YouTube that says otherwise, and I'll leave it at that. So I will say that
throw the link in the YouTube chat. You throw the link in the YouTube chat.
So regardless of all that, as I'm going to go ahead and give a synopsis of the game, the Lakers coming off those 2 really close losses needed to go ahead and get back in the win column. And wouldn't you know it, the 10-win Houston Rockets served one up for us. But it unfortunately, as the rest of the season, it didn't come easy. The Lakers got out to several double-digit leads, but like an accordion, they always seem to go ahead and do what they can to not enjoy the prosperity, especially when with LeBron out of the game. Because every time LeBron went out of the game, the Lakers really just shrunk the lead. Didn't know what to do. He would come back in. It would go back out. He'd sit back down. It'd get shrunk up, back in, back out, until finally in the fourth quarter was a back-and-forth battle with Houston really there close by, trying to scare us. But with the Lakers, only with 2 turnovers the entire game and a great performance from LeBron James with 48 points, 8 rebounds, and 9 assists, and a plus 19, the Lakers do end up on the right side of victory for once, pulling away on free throws at the end, 140-132. And here today to talk about today's game are awesome people indeed. Once again, big shout out to Henry with Courtside Lakers. Thanks so much for allowing us to be part of the Courtside Lakers, and thank you for being part of our Playback.tv coverage. We're going to start off today with a good man indeed. First man up, first man here, first man gets up, and that is the man behind Lakerholics.com. His 5 things articles are there for you today, along with Laker Tom's articles as well. It is Jamie Sweet, aka Yami Swoot, is in the house. There you go, in the drug-free zone, according to Joe Soro. But I will say that the game today, as Zangerstein's saying, was like, this is one of the worst teams in the NBA, and we barely got a victory.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, the Lakers will take. I think we said the same thing about Charlotte or somebody a couple weeks back or a week or so back. We'll take them where we get them, man. Like, this team can't be picky about its wins. No NBA team can be, but especially this Laker team. And it would seem that the league got the message, and LeBron got to the line double digits. Russ got to the line as well, quite a bit. I'm sure Thumbnail Gate will resonate for all of 16 to 27 hours, and then we'll move on. But doesn't matter. It's a loss from last night. It's a win tonight, and that's all that matters. These things aren't defined in the last 3 seconds. It's a slow build to a definition in the last few seconds. So I like that they came back with a win. I agree. You would like to see LeBron not play so many minutes, have to exert so much energy in a win like this, but this team doesn't have enough talent. So it's not a surprise that they're overly reliant on. I mean, I think we've seen here early in the Darvin Ham era that it's hard to come into your first. You can be an assistant on a really great team. Luke Walton had the same problem. You could be an assistant on a really great team and do a lot of great things as an assistant coach, but when the buck stops with you and you have to, as Z is saying on the chat, game manage on a game-to-game at an elite level consistently on a game-to-game basis. And like Joe and I talked about last night, have last-second executions you can go to. It's a lot for a rookie coach to overcome with what he has to work with. I think Darvin Ham's doing a C+ job with this team, in my opinion, right now. C+ to B- at times, but for the most part, I would say C+. So we got this win against Houston. Houston's got some young up and coming players on their roster. We don't fare up well against energetic teams anyway, and Houston and OKC and Memphis are energetic teams, and so it won't be. Yeah, Gary, it is a win. Everybody's going lower than my grade, F. Anyway, I think that F is definitely being harsh on Darvin Ham. You can only build a house to the best of the tools matter. Joe can speak more on how the tools matter to get a job done the right way. But, the tools Darvin Ham has to work with are not, there's 2 good tools. One of them's broken all the time, and it falls off a lot after that. So anyway, I'm glad we got a win.
Glad we got a win indeed, but also here today to talk about today's game. Also, is a good man indeed. You got to go ahead and check out what he's doing today. SOX1947 right there for you at LakersBall.com. It is Joe Soro, and Joe Soro just wanted to go ahead and mention that Howard Hill said in a very close match, the win can be defined in the last few seconds. Ham should have called a timeout when Westbrook fumbled the ball last night. Yes. That is last night. The mistakes were made, regardless of whether you could say that, the timeout is going to be called or not. Your thoughts, though, on what Darvin Ham is doing, at least for tonight.
Sorry, guys, my light just ran out of battery. I need to plug it in.
Yeah, I know. It's like you went mysterious on us.
But I'll keep. I'll answer the question.
Now we all look kind of like glue and blue.
I'll answer the question, and then I'll get back to the regular setup after I shift to Sean.
A little bit smaller angle, so it makes you look less.
Good. So tonight's game was utterly boring, beyond boring. It's sad to say that, considering LeBron had an all-time game for a guy 20 years into the league. I believe that was his third 40-point game. tying Kareem Abdul-Jabbar for 40-point games after the age of 38. MJ with the Wizards had 8. And the way LeBron's going, I wouldn't be surprised if he ends up getting close to that too before the end of the season. We're probably going to have to start preparing for LeBron's passing of Kareem here in the next week or so, because that's likely what's going to be the highlight of the 2022-2023 season. We're not getting any definite answers on what's going on with AD. I hear he was coming back. He was supposed to come back by now, and now it's turning into he might be back before the All-Star break. I don't know if I believe that, because if he hasn't done full court running yet, I don't see how that's going to change in the next 2 weeks. He still has to get his stamina. He still has to do a lot of things. And, of course, his pain threshold seems to be at a low level. What's good is there will be a closure here in about 3 weeks. The Lakers are going to do absolutely jack squat at the deadline, unless it's some piddly BS third-tier, fourth-tier player for nothing. And that will essentially be the submission for the season. So I want everyone to prepare for that, because I have zero confidence. And if we over and over again, we have zero confidence in any aspect of this team. Tonight,
other than Rob Pelinka's ability to hide from every single person in the Los Angeles area.
I'm ready.
Exceptionally skilled.
We let the worst team in the NBA score 132 points on us. I keep telling you guys this. This is a pride. This is a I don't even know what word to use, because it doesn't exist right now with anyone. There is nothing to stand on with these guys. They have no feeling of any dominance. They are just kind of coasting. They're going to do their thing. They're going to do the stuff they want to do. They're not going to do the stuff that needs to get done. Tonight, while they got to win, and they got to win really because LeBron played out of his mind. He shot 5 of 10 from 3. He hit 11 of 12 from the free throw line. He was as efficient and as good as he's ever been. And if he has 38 points tonight, guys, 38, hell, if he had 40 points tonight, we lose. We lose the game. It is terribly run in every facet of the game. The only reason why they're winning some of these games is pure talent from guys like LeBron and Schroeder going nuts on occasion, and the 50-50 guy, 50-50 being Russell Westbrook, the 2 steps forward, 2 steps back. He's not a 2-1, or I should say 1 and 2. He's a 2 and 2. So he'll take 2 steps forward and they take 2 steps back. It's the craziest thing I've ever seen in sports. He's hot and cold. There is no warm. So Darvin Ham is getting beat up, rightfully so, because he is terrible at coaching. And I'm sorry, but he is. He has absolutely no idea what he's doing, and no one is there helping him. On top of that, you would think that some kind of leadership role from up top can help guide him. This is his first year. Yes, we're being hard on him, but back to what I was saying before, there are mistakes being made that shouldn't take too much thought. There shouldn't be too much. This is not an experience issue. This is a execution issue, and not putting the right guys in at the right time, or making sure the right guys are taking the shots. That is not an experience issue. That is, if you've been coaching in the NBA for the last 10 years, you've been around really good coaching and you've won championships, you should know who's good and who's not good in certain situations. Now, if you can't control your players, egos and all that, I'll buy that a little bit. Sometimes players can sabotage a team. David Blatt being one from the LeBron era. But these mistakes that continue to happen is just it's exhausting, and I'm frankly just tired of it, really. You gotta unmute, G.
Once again, the Lakers did win 140 to 132. Thanks, Joe. Sorry about that. That was my bad. Trying to deal with this Instagram thing here, but also wanted to go ahead and mention he's here today as well. Good man indeed. You got to go ahead and check him out today. Every time he's here, it is the man from Toronto, the guy who just can't get out of Toronto traffic. It is the Magic Man, Sean Grice. And Sean also is here somewhat in the faded mist of the darkness of Toronto. But he's still here to go ahead and provide a lot of valuable insight. He was terrific during our playback.tv/Lakers Fast Break watch party. Hopefully you'll be able to join him because he was absolutely fantastic in that. But Sean, you brought a lot of insight to this game so far tonight. Your remarkings on the new Hall of Famer, the newest Hall of Famer, Albert Şengün. I'm sorry, just the way he looked tonight. It seemed like it anyways. But, you kept remarking on how the Lakers just could not find a way to stop him. And a guy that is, it just seems to have so many similarities, like a budget Nikola Jokic, because he's certainly not at that level. But my gosh, he certainly looked like it tonight.
Definitely, Gerald. Definitely. He. I was surprised. I've seen him play a few times. I haven't seen him run the floor as much as he ran it tonight. I guess it was just go wild on Lakers. Wet your pants defense. He is. I saw what Zanger said previously. We respect Şengün. Everyone knows Şengün can play. He's very sly. Like Gerald has said, he's not the most athletically gifted basketball player in the world, but he does the most with what he has. 35 points on 18 shot attempts is a heck of a line. If I'm not mistaken, I think this might be his career high. I'll have to double check that, but I think it is. He is a very good player, and people should start paying him the respect he deserves. He's not just a throw-in. He can play, and he's a very efficient player as well. Unfortunately, we had no size whatsoever to deal with him. Thomas Bryant did his best, but as Gerald and myself and others have pointed out consistently, Thomas Bryant can be a very good rim protector, but he's not a very good paint protector. He has no verticality, none. He can be a big body in there and try and be as physical as he can, but you can just shoot it over him because Thomas is afraid to jump. He really is.
I agree with you, Zangerstein. Our centers cannot dribble.
Nope.
For all the good things and positive things we'd love to say about Thomas Bryant on the show and the heart that he has, he does have quite a few liabilities in his game, and we saw that apparent in the past couple games with him. Is just he cannot elevate, and he's just a straight line from front to back. Great on the break, great hustle, great intensity, but unfortunately, you see the holes in his game, and it stuck out like tonight, really bad tonight. Him and also Wenyen Gabriel, you saw the definite holes in their game tonight.
Absolutely, Gerald. Absolutely, and to be honest, I would have rather have Şengün doing his thing tonight than Kenyon Martin Jr. having a repeat of last night where he was seemingly hitting everything he touched. Houston, like Gerald was saying, Houston has some very good players, some very talented players, but they're just a very disjointed, not very cohesive, not a lot of chemistry, and it was Gerald's right. I mean, it shouldn't have taken the Lakers this long to win, but that's what we're dealing with today.
It's clear, though, the question said in the chat, why didn't they utilize Damian Jones? I mean, you're playing against a team that only has 10 wins on the season.
Mm-hmm.
And when it comes to right down to it, Jamie, it's just a simple fact that the coach has absolutely zero confidence in Damian Jones at all.
This guy.
I know. I can't wait to see it. I'm going to hit it in a second, but I just want to hear your thoughts on this because Damian Jones is getting no burn. At this point, should you just release him and bring in Boogie or something like that? Because it just seems like, why do you still have him on the roster? Bring in Jay Huff, if that's the case.
Play Scottie Pippen Jr. I mean, whatever.
Yeah.
It's, like...
He might have a better chance of playing center right now.
I'm just saying,
and he's only 6'1".
This is kind of my problem with this Laker organization right now. Is it feels like that good ideas are an anathema to them. Like if it's semi good, they're like, yeah, I don't know. We wouldn't want to start looking like we know what we're doing now, would we? We're doing pretty good with this sort of flying by the seat of our pants and blowing it up every year, aren't we? Like this is working, isn't it? So I don't know. But look. There's a lot going on in the chat now about why Damian Jones isn't playing, and that's one of the reasons that we want Rob to come out and put a face to this. Coach Ham, I guess, isn't asked about it. Maybe at some point there was like an interview where he gave it. I haven't seen any news about it.
And that's a very astute point by Zanger that she said that's because the scheme is a drop scheme. Damian Jones is not a drop player. At one time, if I'm not too mistaken, he was supposed to be and was playing as the starting center on this Laker team. So
yes, he was.
At some point, that the coaching staff had faith in him in whatever defensive scheme that they were implementing at that time to have him at the front of it. I understand it may not be, the scheme may have changed, but if that's the case, why still have him on the roster?
That's my question as well. And I would go out 2 weeks ago and have gotten Boogie Cousins, because I love Boogie Cousins. I know he's not going to alter the course of time or reverse the fortunes of the team, but for the love of God, let's let Boogie play 5 minutes a game backing up somebody. Who cares? It was like last year with Melo. Whenever Melo came in and shot some ridiculous three-pointer, all of Staples Center was happy. If the team is going to be craptastic, bring in players that make people happy. At least do that. At least do that. And that's another anathema idea to this front office. I'm not saying that Carmelo Anthony or Boogie Cousins is going to alter the trajectory of the season. Although I feel like they have a better chance of doing that than Damian Jones does at this point. So I don't know. I gave up on the ability for this front office to put together a good idea streak. I think that it's not happening. It hasn't happened yet.
Isn't this front office like the idiocracy of NBA franchises?
Feels like at times, Sean. Feels like at times, and I just don't understand. I mean, there's three things that. If you follow the logic tree down on a couple of things from the beginning of the season this summer, it starts to boggle the mind really quickly. If you knew you were depending so very much on a Westbrook trade to improve the roster, but then throw it out the window at the last second because, oh, wait, the future. Right? That's that logic tree. But then at some point, I would imagine before the season started, somebody was at least floating that idea. And then to say well, let's still build a roster hinging on such an unlikely, this is where I can't, there's nowhere where I can follow the logic and go, okay, yep. That's the idea. That's the through line that leads to some form of success.
You get what they're doing.
I don't. Nobody does.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I agree, Joe. No, 100%. No, 100%. You would want to be like, oh, I see. You're bringing in these kind of players because they do this, that, or this. But it's just like throwing pasta at the wall, and some of that is cheapness. I think some of that is bad talent evaluation. I think a lot of that is not understanding in the moment or not valuing time as a cheap contract for this team, like how they signed Max Christie and it's going to elude me right now. They have a tendency at THT, I want to say,
TFC was similar to what they signed him only to 2 years, then got backed into
right. Like if you really
deal.
believe in the talent, then be like, okay, this. It's a 3-year prove me deal. Like you got 3 years. Like I don't know. It's distressing because I really wanted to believe we couldn't do worse than Jim and Mitch. I really wanted to believe that. I don't know that I believe that anymore, and that's kind of a bummer.
And what the only problem is, I mean, it's great that you score 140 points, Joe, when it's only two turnovers. I want to give the team a compliment on that. Scoring 140 points, being in transition, as I've always talked about on the show, transition, and only 2 turnovers, absolutely, that's probably the best you can do offensively. But to still do all so well on that end, and yet barely squeak by in this game because it took some free throws at the very end for the Lakers to finally pull out a clutch game against a 10-win team. We should be excited. We should be thrilled about this kind of performance as far as scoring 140 points. But when the Lakers do so poor on the defensive end, it's really hard to get, really enthused about tonight's performance.
No, because we were only up 2 with 50 seconds left.
Yeah.
And it's just they're playing down. They're playing to they do things. They play like they're a top seed. If this is a lackadaisical game when they're 10 games over 500, you would understand it. And they're not. They're 20-24. They've lost 8 games when the game is 6 points or lower. You have a self-proclaimed best player of all time dropping 48, 16, 10, 8, doing all that. And you're not winning these games. You have a top 3 player when he's healthy that's sitting. I told you guys, man, it's all over the place. It's the most erratic team I've ever seen in my life. You have good things, bad things, middle things. Russell Westbrook's going to win 6th Man of the Year this year, by the way. He's going to win an award for how he plays.
I think Norman Powell's got that sewn up.
We have a half season left. The way it's
we'll
looking,
see.
Yeah.
Norman Powell's still on Toronto. No, he's in Portland, right?
No, he's a Clipper.
Shows what I know.
Yeah, that's Jamie. Yeah, okay. Go on, Joe.
It's just not. I don't have the enthusiasm. The enthusiasm is just not there because we're watching the game and we're seeing what we're watching, and it's not. I don't see any consistent professionalism in any facet of this team. There's nothing there with any substance. How do you let Houston score 132 points on your home court? I would not be picky if they were playing really well. I'd be like, guys, they're taking a night off. They want at least
back-to-back.
Believe me, I saw a lot of those games. I will always remember the one Milwaukee game at Staples in February. I remember I called my friend up and I said, "Are you falling asleep? This is the most boring game I've ever watched." They ended up winning the game, but I'm like, wow, that was the worst game I've ever watched. It looked like even the fans didn't want to be there. That's fine when you're winning 55 and 60 games. But when you're playing like crap, you would think if you're Darvin Ham, guys, we have shit the bed, pardon my French, crap the bed.
Post-production.
You have how does that really sound right? Crap the bed. You crap the bed for 3 straight games after winning 5 in a row. And why? Why? Because your best player decides to sit one of those games and completely destroys the momentum. And now, can we ask for you to kind of make this Houston team, which is the worst team record-wise in the league, can you maybe get the kinks out on this one? No. You play no defense. you are neck and neck. You make other players that are marginal look like Lou Alcindor in his prime. And I said Lou Alcindor because I wanted to go when he was Lou Alcindor in UCLA. That's how deep. Okay. What is going on here? Like, do you have any control, any pulse in trying to get this team to mentally get who on this team? You have a lot of guys that are on 1-year contracts. How can you not motivate these guys to play all out so that they can go get their money at the end of the year? But there is nothing there. There is no substance there at all when you want it. It's just not there. If LeBron doesn't make those shots towards the end, they lose this game.
Yeah.
They lose this game to the Houston Rockets because they're mental midgets. And it starts with the guys on top, the coaching, and the players. They don't know how to focus. They don't know how to have any pride to play hard and make a statement after sucking for 3 games for no reason.
Once again, it's the Lakers fast break. The Lakers do actually, very fortunately, finally get a road on this homestand, 140-132, celebrating Martin Luther King Jr. Birthday. It's hopefully everybody will celebrate it. Hopefully everybody has celebrated, and hopefully everybody's had a great 3-day weekend. But we've still got plenty to talk about here on the show. Sean, I'm going to turn it over to you and your thoughts on this game. Again, when it comes down to it, we were talking during the game on the live watch party about how it is when, and I think also Henry pointed this out from Courtside Lakers quite astutely, when LeBron sits out the game, when he sits down, you can see it. It's like night and day. And today was a great representation of it. You're talking about one of the worst teams in the NBA. And as soon as LeBron went out, it seemed like the Lakers were so much worse.
Completely, Gerald. It's almost as if you go from a Shakespearean production to watching a bunch of 10-year-olds try and do marionettes. It's a disaster when he's not on the court. I have no idea.
He's actually reading it now.
Yeah. For the life of me, I have no idea why Russell Westbrook, if he's on the court, goes through all the progressions and understands what they want to do in the half court, but that never happens.
No.
It doesn't happen. He was able to do that in Houston. He was able to do that in Washington. He was able to do that in Oklahoma City. But for some reason, as a Laker, as soon as LeBron exits, Russ has the torch passed to him, and we just look like a freaking I'll use a nice term, poop show. It's a poop show when LeBron is off the court, and we have to watch this brown mess.
It's very much of a brown mess. By the way, congratulations on earning your title as the mayor of Toronto, according to John McCallion. By the way, go ahead and like and subscribe to John McCallion's YouTube channel today.
I could go for a key to the city right now.
There you go. Absolutely. Then you can sell it on eBay. But I will say that with the Lakers right now, still not looking great on the defensive end. I understand, Jamie, AD brings a lot to defense. We always talked about when he was healthy and on that big run, he was, as far as the defensive rating is concerned, number 1 or in the top 3 at certain various points this season in the NBA in defensive rating. I understand he's that good as far as helping your defense, but to me, it just seems like as soon as he went out, it just means this defense has just collapsed. Remember when we started the season where we couldn't score and just really could defend, that, teams were only scoring a little bit, above 100. They would, the defensive rating was in the top 5. Everything was looking pretty good there. AD seems to, I understand, is the catalyst of all this, but my gosh, he's not the total answer between why you went from 5th to what seemingly 30th in the NBA in defense.
It's about 30th.
Because it's gone off the rails.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a couple of things. I think one, when AD went down, I think I posed a hypothesis that the Lakers will have to make a choice, that they're either going to outscore opponents or continue that level of defense. And I have to say, I think they wisely chose to try and outscore their opponents. Whether that's intelligent as a long-term plan or not is certainly debatable. But without AD, without Reeves, without Lonnie Walker, without Pat Bev, the Laker defensive identity is tied up in those 5 players more than any other one. None of the guys we talk about now are like mentioned as, and we're going to rely on these guys for defense. Not a one. They all can kind of score sometimes, which is why it takes, a perfect game from Russ, right? Like no turnovers at least.
Yeah, I would say JTA is probably the best of the bunch.
Best of the bunch, but he's undersized, outweighed, outskill. Like I will say that he tries. I will say that Wenyen Gabriel tries.
Yes.
I'll say that even that Thomas Bryant tries, but they lack the skill, they lack the ability, they lack the physical presence to watching Thomas Bryant and Wenyen Gabriel try to stop Embiid was comical. It was just comical. He just moved them, and that should have been an easy game for Philly to win, right? Like they should have been. The mindset should have been Joel for 70. Like, don't be content with 30. Don't be content with 40. You can score 50 to 60, probably 70 points against this Laker team if you try. Because who is going to stop you? Nobody. And so they did choose, I feel like, the right course of action. I just don't know how you pick those pieces back up. I don't know until you get. I mean, I kind of have a question for Sean. Is what, given the nature of AD's injury, which is as I understand it, is a stress reaction to the foot caused by a floating piece of bone inside of the foot, and since it's still there, like, what is the likelihood that when he gets back, that running and jumping like you do in a game just brings it back fairly quickly, like within a week to 2 weeks to a month?
Yeah, I would say not good, Jamie. Not good.
Like a high likelihood that a basic return to action would. This is hypothetical.
Yeah, I know. Well, if they want,
we are not medical professionals here.
Well, but I mean, if they want to bring him back a few days before the All-Star game, he's probably not going to be back to his self by probably the end of February. It's probably good. Take at least 2.5 weeks.
Yeah, that's my fear, I guess, is that like
to rev up.
Somebody was like to rev up and just get back to speed. But and somebody else in the chat, I want to say it was, I can't remember who it was, asked about trades, and there will be no trade. This whole, they just are creating obstacles to success. This whole, we're looking for a player who's going to be impactful with us for 3 years. What player like that is available right now? Who is that for our 2 draft picks and Russ? Like what? So this is just the 3rd obstacle that they've created this season towards, anything at all. And I don't understand, I guess, why they just didn't have AD do the surgery right away. It just seems like we're waiting for him to get hurt again. And unless, I don't know.
It just seems seems like here's what it seems like to me, Jamie, and maybe you disagree, maybe you don't. It seems like his inability to have a set timeline of coming back is a veneer for Pelinka to avoid a sense of incompetence.
I agree with that 100%. That's 100% right. I 100% agree with that. A veneer is the perfect word. It's a cheap lacquer.
Yeah, that's what it feels like.
It's a cheap lacquer for Rob's really great choices.
Once again, it's a Lakers fast break. The Lakers do win 140 to 132.
You wouldn't know it.
You wouldn't know it by this podcast, but it is a frustrating win, to say the least, because of the way the Lakers played defense and how they looked overall.
I'll take them all.
Minus LeBron. Again, Russell Westbrook, though, did give them a lift at times, but, again, some head scratching moments. 24 points, 4 assists, 5 rebounds, though no turnovers. Again, 2 turnovers for the game, Joe. You got to look at that as a positive, but still, when it comes to the Lakers, without LeBron, you got to give that man some rest. 36 minutes again tonight.
We're just gonna rub the tires until they're freaking bald.
Yep. That's true.
This is the second year you've wasted his talent, his extended talent. And I don't see anything changing next year. We have to hold our hopes that AD
We're
stays
leaking
healthy.
oil faster than the Tin Man.
They're gonna go into 2023, 2024 with AD and hoping that he stays healthy again. And when he stops and when he gets injured again, we're going to be right back here repeating everything we're repeating again, hoping that we don't lose an audience because we're repeating everything. The problem with our repeating is they're repeating everything and we're repeating the repeating. We're telling you what we're seeing. It's the same thing every game, every week. Nothing of any substance. So we're just calling the game. We're calling what we see. What is the solution? There's 100 solutions on this. They're not doing any of them. They're sitting back, hiding, not doing anything, hoping. Hope. What does hope do?
Yeah, you told me about that during the
Hope.
game.
When hope is your only asset, you will be a failure in life. You could hope that there's no rain tomorrow. Sure, let's hope. But what if there is? Do you have a plan? Do you know what you're going to do if it does rain, though? I can hope that I'll live to 100. Is it going to happen? No.
It's not going to rain.
Okay. So the hope business is typically for people who are either delusional or don't want to think too much.
So politicians or a government worker?
Politicians, the problem with politicians is they have to answer to certain people and they can't veer off too much, otherwise people get hurt. In this situation,
which is why you got to make a lot of crazy promises,
right? You just got to get in, right? But in this case, this is sports. Sports is about results. Politicians are about staying in your place and just giving just enough to keep your job. In sports, you can't do that. I mean, I guess you could if you're the Cincinnati Bengals. I mean, they had Marvin Lewis coach them for 20 years and didn't even win a freaking playoff game. So the Lakers, and worse, it's the Lakers. You're talking about the top 3 franchise on the planet. For sure, top 5. And it's being run by people who are not I wouldn't have them running a convenience store in the nicest place in town. They're buffoons. They have absolutely no idea what they're doing. Rob might know what he's doing when he's agent guy. Jeannie might know how to sell tickets to the circus. That's what she did for 30 years, right? Or whatever it is that she did. What else? Darvin Ham was an assistant for 10, 12 years? That's like a player in college basketball playing 4 years. What's taking you so long? What took you so long? That's his position. Will he get better? I don't know. It's probably not the right team. He should not have been the coach of the LA Lakers at this time. He should have gone to a safer place, someplace where there's not a lot of pressure. But guess what? No one hired him. The Lakers did, because old Frank Vogel wasn't good enough, right? He just won you a championship a season ago or 2 seasons ago. But apparently no one wanted to listen to a championship coach. He's only one of 4 guys that have won a championship in a Laker organization. Got completely, what is that word that John came up with? Flatulence?
Something.
Anyways,
Some type of F word.
I did not want to come here and be depressed and sound depressed and depress the courtside people that are probably just tuning in for the first time. But for those of you who are tuning in, I'm just reporting what we've seen tonight, even though it was a win. And the only kudos I'm giving is, I mean, you can give it to Westbrook to a degree too. He played out a good game. But this is an embarrassment, guys, allowing 132 points to the Houston Rockets after you absolutely butchered the last 3 games because of your laziness and your inability to understand your situation. And this is the result. This is the result. What's going to happen in the next game? Are you going to come out and match their intensity? Why don't you just play hard all the time and win this game so that LeBron can sit in the fourth quarter, at least for this game? We know that the NBA's changed. We know it's not the norm anymore where you can do that every other game. Can you at least do it against a 10-80 team? That's all I ask.
No.
Once again, the Lakers did win. Now you could be hard to tell listening to this podcast, but 140 to 132, they do pull away in the final seconds. Go ahead, Sean.
Yeah, no, Gerald, you said it. You said it right there. Let's look at it. This is a group. I'm talking about the Houston Rockets now. It's a young team. You're in LA for a back-to-back with the Clippers and the Lakers. Of course, they went out last night. So you lose. You go out last night. You party. You come back and you still put up 132 somehow. That's where our defense is. It's 132 on a back-to-back. Not the back-to-back you played. The back-to-back that the other team played, and you let them score 132. That's pretty hard to do. You got to be a pretty putrid defense to allow something like that. So if they're like Joe and Jamie have said, and both have speculated, and I think they're probably going to end up being right. This team doesn't make any moves. No moves. So,
and let me
Go
connect
on,
to
Joe.
that, Sean. I want you guys to understand we are regular people, not sitting on our underwear. I have to make that clear. We're just regular people at home or in our office or on our.
Yeah.
Imagine.
Yeah, that's what we are.
Imagine the other 29 teams with half a brain. You don't think they know this? I know for a fact if I was a GM of the Sixers, Magic, Pelicans, I'm sitting there going, I know what's going on in LA. I'm not going to give that guy a little safety pin, let alone something that he needs. I'm going to let them die there. That's the reality of that. No one's giving the Lakers jack. What is that word he said again?
Crap.
Dude.
There you go. Nothing. We're going to find a word here. We're going to find a word before the end of the night. They're not going to give them anything. They're going to want those 2 picks. And they'll ask, Bogdanovich trade? I guarantee you Detroit asked for 2 picks.
Mm-hmm.
They're not going to ask you for 1. They want both. Just to mess with the Lakers.
Yeah, why wouldn't you?
That's what you created. You created a atmosphere where your number 1 player of all time called you guys his own franchise, his own family, backstabbers.
Ooh,
That's where everything really started. Yeah, Magic traded Muscala for Zubac. But that was, I don't know, that was a precursor. We haven't used that word in a while. That was a precursor to the eventual backstabbing, and now everything is just. I thought Jim Buss was bad. I mean, come on, Rob is making Jim Buss look like Jerry West at this point.
Once again, the Lakers do win 140 to 132. Jamie, when it comes to what the Lakers have up on the road ahead, they do have Sacramento on Wednesday night, and they actually close out the homestand coming up shortly thereafter. But we'll go ahead and focus in on Sacramento, which was a winner on the road at San Antonio tonight. They're playing extremely well. They're now 6 games above 500, 24-18 on the season. In a position where if things had gone our way on some of these last-minute, last-second calls and mistakes and things of that nature, these games that the Lakers could have easily won, we'd be 24-18. So I want to hear your thoughts on this. what do you see the Lakers maybe doing differently or actually similar? Because remember, they're the last team that beat Sacramento and prevented the Sacramento Kings from lighting the beam. What can they get from that victory that they can translate into Wednesday's game?
From tonight, I mean, just keep playing hard. That's what this team can do. LeBron has to be excellent. Russ has to be close to perfect, and the whole team has to play hard. That's all you can ask at this, honestly. Like Kendrick Nunn, find something worth, find something. Like Schroeder's streaky. He's gonna go hot and then cold, and he's kind of maybe hopefully coming out of a cold slot. I don't, we got to play a great game. I feel like Sacramento's going to come in looking to prove that we were lucky last time.
Very interesting to see at least what will happen. Sean, go ahead. You were ready to say something, my friend.
Yeah, Gerald, our good friends at StatMuse just posted this.
Okay.
Alperen Şengün is now the youngest center in NBA history to have 30 points, 10 rebounds, and 5 assists in a game. Before he held this record, it belonged to one Shaquille O'Neal.
Wow.
There you go. Funny. And thank you, Lakers, I guess, for that.
Wow.
Right.
It goes to show you how empty stats have become in the NBA.
True.
Indeed, Joe.
I mean, his empty stats almost won them the game, though, so not that empty.
Not that empty. It's empty.
Yeah. Well,
empty like my empathy folder for humanity and my role.
We have a guy that had triple-double averages for 4 years and didn't win diddly poo.
Yeah,
there you go. Enough. There's your word.
Yeah, no. I think it's just the point. The point I was trying to make is that this year, for whatever reason, somebody always is a first. There's always something unprecedented that happens when you play this Lakers defense.
The question is going to be is if they win on Wednesday, let's say, are they going to sit LeBron on Friday when they play Memphis?
They're just going to give that up as a loss.
Right? They're going to say, oh, well, we're probably going to lose this game, right? This is the problem. This is the irritation with this team.
Can't keep. I know they did. I know they did that both. I caught myself, Gerald. I almost swore there. Caught myself. If they're gonna pull this fluff again, Joe, I don't think they're gonna pull this crap again.
Oh, they will.
They may. But you can't keep tossing away games like this, even in. Go ahead, Gerald.
Well, because if AD comes back, let's say close to around the All-Star break, let's say early February-ish, whatever. For the rest of the season, they're not going to play many back-to-backs. For the rest of the season, if there's anything like a weekend game, like a Friday, Sunday game, there's a very good chance they might have them sit down. So you already know that you're not going to get the total amount of games that AD is going to be able to be eligible for, even if he doesn't get hurt again, simply because they're going to be so afraid to go ahead and play him on a back-to-back or games close in similarity to each other. When it comes to LeBron, you're going to be doing the same thing. So really, you're talking about another 5 to 7 scheduled losses on the roster, left on the schedule, which is absolutely insane right now with the Lakers already behind and trying to climb up.
It's a math problem. That's what it is. It's a math problem. See, I've never done this, but I've spoken to one. When you're a pilot and you're about to go up into the air, there's only so much runway you have, only so much before you can get it up in the air. If they want to sit LeBron on a Friday, on a Wednesday, on a back-to-back, sure, you can go ahead and you do that. But see this? You're running out of this. You're running out of it. Me and Gerald talked about it last year. You're running out of it. Once you run out of this, the plane can't take off anymore. And it's going to crash into the trees. That's what's going to happen if they keep sitting him.
Well, it's going to be very disappointing to see that, but I'm not going to put it past them at this point because the Lakers, they put themselves in such a position and to just keep on with these schedule losses, it just hurts you even more. It makes that climb back up to relevancy in the Western Conference that much more difficult, and that's the problem.
It does, Gerald, and that's a huge problem because if you're gonna get past this log jam, you need to beat some of these teams. You've lost to the Clippers twice. You've lost to the Mavericks twice. You've lost to the Suns twice. You can't keep losing season series to these teams because those games matter. If you're tied at the end of the year, that goes into deciding whether or not you get a 6th spot or a 7th spot, and you can't keep just dropping them. Just
Yeah.
you can't. It's inconceivable. It's stupid. But like Joe said, stupid is as stupid does.
Once again, it's the Lakers fast break. Lakers do win 140-132. We'll be back on Wednesday for the playback.tv/Lakers fast break watch party there for you. It's going to be at 7:30, I believe, is the game time. I think if it will go ahead and check. But before we head on out, Jamie, Joe, Sean, any thoughts on the game or what the Lakers need to do to get back on track on maybe on a winning streak this time around before we head on out?
Yeah, Gerald. Your next 10 games, I'll read them off. Versus the Kings, versus the Grizzlies, at the Blazers, versus the Clippers, the Spurs, at Boston, at Brooklyn, at the Knicks, at Indiana, at New Orleans. Of those 10 games, 9 of those teams are in the playoffs right now.
That road trip is
Or
brutal.
fighting for a playoff spot. You need to win at least 7 of those 10 to give yourself a realistic shot if you want to do any kind of noise. If you lose any more than 5, kiss it goodbye. That's the season. The season is the next 10 games, Gerald.
I think
Absolutely.
that's a great observation.
Yeah, I think that's awesome. I agree with that. Any last thoughts, Jamie?
I want to thank Petting My Cat for both listening to John and following all the rules of the chat. So Petting My Cat, if I had a gold star to give away, I'd give it to you.
That's right, Howard. The Spurs is the only probable win on that schedule.
We barely beat. There's no probable wins with this team. I don't feel like it. I want to, but I don't. So hey, I'm just gonna be real, man. I can't be like, dude. I really think if we play hard, this team's got a chance to go 5-5. I don't see us going 5-5. That road trip is brutal. That 5-game road trip is brutal.
It decides the season, Jamie.
It decides the season. Every year you want it to decide the season, but this year I'm like, I wish we could have won just the 2 AD free throw games.
Yeah, just the handful. If you won
just those
2 or 3 more, this would look so bad.
It would not be so daunting, but I think you're right. Like these next 10 games really that's the marbles, man.
Do you got the onions?
I don't need
Or do you not got the onions?
I think it's more stone and talent, but yes. Let's hope they bring the onions.
You have the girth.
Okay.
Before we head off,
I always want to play us out with like a song, Joe, and then I realize that I'll get us shut down like Joe and I almost did last night. And I'd like to thank the Lakers fast break lawyers for avoiding that calamity.
This is America.
Yeah, I think you could. I think you playing. If you play it any time, you're fine on that. I think you're fine playing any tune.
I'd like to thank the law firm of Ashley Simpson and Simpson for bailing us out last night when we got booted off the internet. But
Joe, any last thoughts on the way out? No.
I think I've given you my thoughts enough tonight.
Oh yes, you have indeed. But once again, it's the Lakers fast.
The Lakers win.
No. Well, they did win 140-132. But if you have any questions for us, always we're available at Lakers Fast Break. We're available on social media all over the place: Facebook, Twitter, Trovo. Also, as well, we can go ahead.
What
and
is
find us on
Trovo? What
Instagram.
is Trovo?
That's the streaming service. It's just similar to what you see on Twitch. It's a wannabe Twitch. They're trying hard. They're doing some
Are they
good things
hoping they're going to be better than Twitch?
with their success ratio and their subscribership. Yes, the hope is
Waka
there.
waka waka.
But I will say again, if you want to go ahead and ask us any questions or comments, please feel free to do so in the comments below on YouTube or as well Twitch, Trovo, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Not only Lakers Fast Break on Instagram, but also as well, of course, Courtside Lakers. And thank you again, Henry Hart, for allowing us the opportunity to be a part of the Courtside Lakers community. It is truly appreciated. Hopefully we can try and live stream there consistently and see if we can get a little bit more fan base out of it. It's truly appreciated. Late Night Lakers with Joe Soro. Why should you just listen to us? We got the girth. There you go.
I already copped Late Night Lakers, John. You can't take that from me. I will see you in court with the law firm of Ashley Simpson and Simpson backing me with all of its power and majesty.
Mm-hmm. Danny says Rockets were launching tonight, but Lakers laser satellite zapped. You know what? Danny, it's great to have you watching. We truly appreciate it. Your positivity and your just your Laker Tom enthusiasm really shined through tonight.
Jamie,
it was really good to have you a part of the chat.
I'll see your Ashley Simpson and Simpson, and I'll raise you the frozen caveman lawyer that was Phil Hartman.
I like when he was Frankenstein.
I do too. I don't know about all of your future analytics and interwebs. But what I do know is that my client deserves 1.2.
We call them analytics on this show.
Listen, I'm pretty sure you'll be hearing from my lawyers, Joe. So just FYI.
Thanks so much again to John McCallion. Please go ahead and check out his channel on YouTube. Also, again, Danny, thanks so much. Petting my cat, who has now been, I guess, installed into the Hall of Fame as far as the GOAT.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, right there for you in the chat. Great job as always. The guy behind hashtag Team Replay right there for you, Petting my cat. Also, as well, Z, incredible as always. Yes, Howard Hill. Truly great having you here as well. Thank you so much. Gary A., you've been a regular as well.
Gary A., shout out to Gary A. He's funny.
Shout out to Gary A.
Heart and Soul Award goes
funny how?
Yes.
Funny strange.
Okay. Like I'm a clown?
Tycoon Rave is a regular as well. Great to have you here. Yes. At PMC is in the LFB Hall of Fame. Absolutely, indeed. But
As
once again,
Zangerstein is on the Hall of Fame too.
It is the Lakers winning 141-32, and we'll be back on Wednesday for the Lakers Fast Break live watch party. Don't forget, I'm going to do this in honor of John, the Pop Culture Cosmos right there for you at Pop Culture Cosmos, wherever you get your podcasts, where we talk all the greatest and latest in pop culture. And wouldn't you know it, on the latest episode of Pop Culture Cosmos is these guys right here. These guys right there.
Look at that.
Right there. Jamie Sweet and Joe Soro are on the episode, and they didn't even know it. So actually, I had to steal some. Yes. So I had to borrow some footage there to finish out the day.
Was
you
it
guys
good?
talking about what you talked about Chipotle being bad. You gagged on McDonald's, iPhone versus Samsung. You guys had some thoughts there. You had some thoughts on some movies. So I'm like, you know what? I'll throw this.
I got thoughts, Gerald. And I also have pants. I know we tied it. This is
Joe had to stand up last week and make sure to let everybody know he was wearing pants and not in his underwear.
We don't got to do that tonight. We don't got to do that tonight. We just take it off for granted.
Yeah, I got my Bruce Lee shirt on. I'm good. Yes.
No, yeah, me too.
And I got some pants on.
What are you
Yes,
talking about? That's
pants.
right.
Yes. Oh, John McKillian says Chipotle is the GOAT. Well, Jamie says no.
If you mean gastro-obstructionist assault to your tract, yes, that is.
I started frequenting Chipotle after they had all their PR issues and their PR nightmare and getting all those people sick. And once they I realized that they were.
So petting my cat. That's why you're petting my cat. That's why you're the.
So I'm on Team Chipotle. I'm on.
So
Team
Chipotle over PF Chang's.
So petting my cat says he'd rather
PF Chang's win.
Yeah, you're right.
the last 10 years. Holy
Yeah.
crap.
Why does
I've
anybody
never
eat
eaten
fast
at
food?
either establishment.
Yeah, me neither. No, I can't say that. I've never eaten at P.F. Chang's. I have eaten it twice at Chipotle. Neither
last-
experience.
Last but not
Twice.
least, I do want to give a shout out to all the tremendous viewers all around the world that actually catch our show. In fact, I was watching today. I know you got last week, not this past week, but the week before, we were actually near the top 100 of basketball shows in the world, and also in the U.S. This week, we've got a ton of people listening and watching from all around the world, and I cannot thank everybody enough. All the listeners in Spain, the
Muchas
Philippines,
gracias.
Singapore, the Czech Republic, just all over, just so many great places around the world listen to the Lakers Fast Break, and we truly appreciate it. Danny says he's the captain and he wants an autograph. I don't get it, but okay.
He's fired up, man. He's on fire.
He is. Yeah, absolutely. He's crying. So great to have him aboard. If you haven't subscribed yet, Danny, or if you haven't subscribed,
subscribe.
please like and subscribe, and maybe we will get you an electronic autograph.
And give us a 5-star review.
Yes, wherever you get your podcasts. Yes, absolutely. Plus, everybody out there, we are looking for contestants. Joe Soro and Sean Grice are looking for people to match up against as far as for Lakers trivia. I do want to get a Lakers trivia show off the ground. So if you are interested in matching wits
Petting my cat
with Joe Soro and Sean Grice, please go ahead and hit us up today, wherever you get your podcasts, or on social media, or LakersFastBreak@yahoo.com. Danny says he is the NBA god and NFL god too. Wow.
He's Bo Jackson. He's Bo Jack. He's Bo Jerry West Jackson.
NFL is going to be hard to beat me in NFL.
Okay. Well, again, Danny or anyone else out there, if you know your Lakers trivia, go ahead and hit me up.
Although I did stump Joe with a really hard question about the NFL.
LakersFastBreak@yahoo.com.
No, the NBA.
It was
20,000 point scorers.
Now, one last question before we head out.
Don't interrupt me, G.
Adam Hurley put this in. Does Darvin Ham need to start winning at small forward?
Yes.
No.
only if he's taken large amounts of mescaline.
Yes.
Ooh, well then yes. I mean,
let's hope he plays well there.
There we go.
Well, he probably would.
Is this Tom Brady's last season?
Let's hope that we all get some mescaline.
No. Tom Brady's playing until he's 50. Get ready.
Your father
he's going to Miami or he's going to the Raiders.
That's right. Come on, kids.
He looked terrible this season, says John.
What do you mean look terrible? The guy had the most completions in NFL history this year.
He's the strongest negative body fat person I've ever seen.
490 completed passes this year. The problem is the NFL is stubborn. They can't understand that Todd Bowles can't coach in the NFL, at least as a head coach.
Yeah.
Boy,
how do you drop off so much? Come on, people. Tom Brady needs to go to Miami, actually. I would go to Miami because that team just needs a quarterback.
They have Tua.
Tua can't stay healthy.
Because they can't block for him. When you're getting bounced off the turf all the time, is that really you or your?
You know what? I'd like to address something that Danny just said, and I'd just like to say, Danny, we're all allowed to win.
Yes.
And I'm wearing pants.
You said that Tom Brady is allowed to win.
I'm saying that we're all.
The guys won for 22 years.
Yes, Danny. Tom did lose today. Their season's over. Tom's season is over. So no more Tom Brady for a while.
The one takeaway is that sadly, the Tom Brady Mike Evans love affair is over, and I doubt they'll see each other again before the Tampa Bay Buccaneers championship reunion.
Petting My Cat says he should go to the 49ers. There's no way he should go to the 49ers. I'm on Team Purdy. That's the greatest story right now in the NFL. The last pick.
Is this still a Laker podcast?
Yes, it is.
Mr. Irrelevant.
But we
going all the way to the Super Bowl. That would be awesome.
You got another trivia question for the NBA, Sean, that we can answer before we go?
Yes.
Well, that's a good way to take it out.
Yes. Go ahead, Sean. He's thinking about it.
Oh, God.
He's mulling it over.
It's a prelude. It's a precursor to the show.
Yes.
All right.
Come on, Sean. You can do it. You can do it, man. You can do it. NFL fast break. No.
Ding, ding, ding. I could totally do that. Ding, ding, ding. Ding, 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 ding. Ding, 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 ding.
Okay,
Ding.
Joe.
All right, go ahead.
I've got it.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
I had to go get my pants, which I was wearing.
Hold on, let me do my Vujicic thing. That's good. That's good. You got to use that.
Name the 2 NBA players who have won 3 championships in 3 different decades.
That's and you did this on the spot. Very impressive, Sean. Very impressive.
John Sally.
He's won.
Ori.
Not Ori.
No, it didn't do it in the 80s.
Hold on.
George.
I know this. Trust me. I'll get it.
I have no idea. I'm already out. I'm 1 for 3.
So remember, it's 2 different players won 4 different championships.
Tim Duncan.
Very good, Joe. Very good.
Oh,
I should have put my hands up so you guys know I didn't check it. I didn't. I swear to God.
Well, obviously, Sally won both of his with the Pistons in 89.
Sally won 2 in 89 and 90 with Detroit. One in 96 with the Bulls, and then the Lakers in 2000.
2000, that's right.
Tim Duncan won in 99. Obviously won in 2003, 2005, 2007, and then won in 2014. Oh.
The question was, John, which players have won a title in 3 different decades? So, yes.
God, that was a freaking beautiful question, Sean.
Yeah.
I you know what? I came.
Dude,
you guys are putting the pressure on.
Dude,
man.
if you're like Chris Mad Dog Russo during the Super Bowl. He has these trivia so he can give out Super Bowl tickets. And hey, take it easy.
I like
man.
his style.
Take it easy.
Shouts at you literally if you get
That's not fair. That's not fair. That's not fair. So yeah, that was as bad arse of a question in the moment on time as you could have asked. And guys, yes, that's how we roll. We know what we're talking about.
If you want to
don't ever interrupt me again, G. Ever.
So if you want to go ahead and help us start out with another great show, a Lakers trivia show, please go ahead and let us know. LakersFastBreak@yahoo.com or hit us up on Lakers
Flies with that?
This episode of Lakers Fast Break brought to you by the law firm of Ashley Simpson and Simpson.
All right. Well, again, if I could just say again so that these guys are not joking, please, if you are interested in matching wits against Sean and Joe, please let us know. LakersFastBreak@yahoo.com. Once again, the Lakers did win 140-132. We'll be back on Wednesday night, starting with the awesome Lakers Fast Break right there for you on playback.tv at 7:30. Then, of course, around 10-ish Pacific time. It is the post game right here. Thanks so much for watching. Again, great job by Danny, the ultra positive right there for you. Mr. John McCallion, Petting My Cat, Zangerstein, Howard Hill, just everybody just been great job.
We have the best chat
the
in
best
the world.
Lakers chat. That's how
the best. Yes, the best.
You could put Daddy's chats scrolling by to Yakety Sax, and it would be pretty awesome.
Yes. All right. Well, thanks so much again for watching and listening. Can Lakers take names while playing simultaneously kicking ass? That's a question.
Hey.
Whoa. You're supposed to say law firm.
You're supposed to say it the Irish way.
You see? What are you doing where you're talking about my dinner? Oh, yeah.
Maybe that was a horrible Irish accent.
Well, I would see anybody else do better.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it as well. Howard Hill, thanks so much.
No offense to anyone in
everybody else,
Ireland.
Oh,
yep,
right there.
Happens to
absolutely.
be listening to the show. I have friends who recently went to Ireland and they loved your country. So keep it up.
Absolutely. Please. Now that we've shut off the entire country of Ireland, we're just going to go ahead and send it on out. Thanks
Hey,
so
at
much
least we didn't-
again for being
At least we
part.
get kicked off Facebook.
Well, that's our next goal, seemingly, of the Lakers Fast Break podcast.
Squad goals.